So let's call them what they are. Let's call them what Epstein called them. Let's stop calling them Islamophobes. Let's stop calling them a Christian apologists, because they're really not. They are really just prostitutes for Epstein.
Yes. And I'll say one more thing. If you are a person of reason, look up Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, who was one of the architects of the American Constitution and of what we have, he had a Quran. I mean, it's something that is well known. He was somebody who read Islamic doctrine. And he was a Unitarian, by the way. He believed in one God. He did not believe in the Trinity. And that's one of the founding fathers of America. So this is not a Christian country. This is not a Jewish country. And it's not a Muslim country. It's a country that is believed to be open to all faiths. And we have the freedom of religion. We have the freedom of expression, freedom of speech that we have to defend. I really hope that people of good faith, good people of Christian faith, of Jewish faith, of Hindu faith, atheists, agnostics, everybody else will see this incident to be a wake-up call to stop the hate, to stop the hate mongering from the likes of Jake Lang, from the likes of David Wood and Apostate and Avery and Loomer. All these people who are just spewing. Who are you saying?
And Loomer, Jigsaw.
Yes, for sure. Laura Loomer, all these hate mongerings that are leading to the deaths of innocent people. It's not just people saying things. You're inspiring young teenagers to go carry out acts of violence by calling them to acts of violence. This is something that Christians should say, enough of this.
That's actually a great point. I'm not sure. Well, I don't know what Avery or GodLogic has said to put him in a category of being anti-Muslim or spreading propaganda. But I remember when I saw what happened in San Diego, I thought back, and this is right when I reverted. I remember he came, and I remember you had a debate, and you were speaking about the Bible, going back and forth. I remember that being a good spirited debate for the most part. There were some interruptions. And so I went into his stream earlier, and I don't know if he said things that are incorrect. I have to do my research if I'm wrong. And I super chatted and I said, hey, can you speak about this? I remember the last time I met you, the only time I saw him was there in San Diego, the day that I visited the masjid that was just attacked by terrorists. And I'm not sure if he ignored it, but he didn't see it and he didn't respond. But
unfortunately, the thing with these people is they're not calling you to become Christian. Even recently, as some of the Orthodox Christians have called him out on that he was pushing Muslims to go to Jewish rabbis and so on, not caring that if somebody even goes down a different path, but just to get people away from Islam. And the attacks that they have done on the character of the Prophet, peace be upon him, calling him a murderer and calling him things like this, even though they know that these are incorrect statements, is only to breed hate. It's to breed hate against Muslims. This is Islamophobia. It's not spreading Christianity. When I debated David Wood, for example, in San Diego, you can watch the video. It's on the One Message Foundation channel. I told him about the Bible. He said, the Bible is not my thing. My degree's in philosophy. And he didn't come to call me to become Christian. They just come to attack Islam. When we go out, we put a table, we give da'wah. We don't go and seek these guys. When me and you were in Balboa Park, did we go to their table and attack them? No, but they came with their cameras. Why? Right. Why don't you set up your table and share your faith? No, their whole thing is to attack Islam. And this rhetoric that they're putting out, being Muslims, being murderers, and this, this is what's fueling these things. These are not Christian apologists. These are not preachers towards Christianity. These are Islamophobes. Day in and day out, they're not out there speaking to Hindus to make them Christians. They're not just out there putting a table to share Bibles with people. They're out there day in and day out only targeting Muslims.
I think what's more receptive in what they're, because when we say Islamophobe, I notice they immediately say, oh, this is woke ideology. They associate the word Islamophobe with transphobe or homophobic. What I think is going to be received better from them is that this is pro-America. If you actually want to stand up for American values, then you need to stand up for the Muslims right now when they're attacking our right to practice our religion freely, our right for free speech, especially if you don't want the Israeli occupation of our country, if you don't want them to turn this into the United States of Israel, then realize that their number one tool of propaganda is pointing the finger at Muslims while they continue to bomb the world. So if you know that this is their tactic, look at the Muslims while they continue to expand, displace people in Lebanon, continue the genocide, take our American tax dollars to fund these wars that we did not vote for and did not want. Then stand up for the Muslims, not even because you care about Muslims. If you care about America, which you claim to, then figure out what the propaganda tool is. The number one thing that they demonize, the number one tool, the number one part of their rhetoric and their message and their lies is pointing at the Muslims and saying terrorists and saying these lies. So for these people, forget about Islamophobia for a second. You claim to care about America, then say what's right and protect your country.
And Snego, just to be clear, I just sent you something, if you take a look at it, and this is from David Wood and who he partners with. And if you look at their partnership, this is with Zionist organizations.
Okay, and even these people that like not even Christians, they're still Zionists. I noticed the other one too. He has a face. It looks his nose, the weird looking one. I think he claims to be an atheist, but he's still aligning with Zionism. So I think the better way to even categorize it goes past Islamophobe or Christian apologists, because they're not Christian and they're much more than they're just Zionists. They work for the same people that are bombing and assassinating children. It's not just like people that are pretending to be pro-America. They are shills. And like Epstein said about Tommy Robinson, they are cheap prostitutes at any price. So let's call them what they are. Let's call them what Epstein called them. Let's stop calling them Islamophobes. Let's stop calling them a Christian apologists, because they're really not. They are really just prostitutes for Epstein.
That's it. I mean, the last thing I just want to say, I got to jump off. I got some brothers from San Diego that are calling me about the families. One of the sons of one of the families wants to speak to me, so I got to be there for the community. Is in the end, I'm just really, really happy that those children were saved by the sacrifice of these brave 3 Muslim men who sacrificed their lives but saved, hundreds of children that were in that school that day. And I really hope that people that are watching this from the Christian, Jewish, Hindu, atheist, agnostic, whatever background, do come out and condemn this terrorist attack. Call it what it is. Call a duck a duck. This is absolute terrorism. Look up the definition of what terrorism is. This is it. And even though the facts are still unfolding, people that were on the ground that called me, that told me that were there, that they said these were definitely 2 Caucasian individuals who were heavily armed, that had planned this and attacked, yelling out things that again, were talking about Jesus and things. We're waiting for verification from the official reports, but these are people that were on the ground that called me directly. And as a Muslim, I condemn all forms of terrorism. Any Muslim that attacks children or attacks innocent people has done something against Islam, and I condemn it. I hope Christians will come out and do the same. I hope people of the Jewish faith will come out and do the same about the genocide in Gaza. I hope that atheists and agnostics will come out, and everybody in American society will tell the government, will tell the media, will tell, these people that are supposedly in places of power, talking about being the minister of war and things. That's enough of this hate.